So, I'm a coach and I use conversations and questions to help my client get answers. And as someone who does active listening, you know what is one thing that I've realized? That no one really wants to listen. The art of listening is dying. I want you to think of someone in your life who you think is a really good listener. And if no one comes to your mind, imagine what a big issue this is. We all just want to talk. हम चाहते हैं कोई हमारी सुने, हम ना किसी की सुने. And this is a big, big issue because this world is built on community and communication. And that community and communication is dying because no one wants to listen. मैंने इसके बारे में ना बहुत सोचा. I actually thought a lot about it as to why people refuse to listen anymore and just want to talk. And I've come up with this theory. Our brain requires a balance of input versus output. But the issue with today's world is there is an overwhelming amount of input. Are you understanding the amount of information that we are consuming through social media and news and the amount of content that we are consuming, Netflix and Amazon and movies and just constant input of information? So, our brain that is already loaded with information is fed more. Why would I want to listen to another human give me more information? My quota of listening, of inputting that information is already been fulfilled by social media, by any and every type of different content. So why would I want to, or rather, not why, I don't even have the capacity to listen to anybody and get that input into my life because this quota is already full. जितना मैं सुन सकती थी उतना मैं ऑलरेडी सुबह के स्क्रॉल में सुन चुकी हूँ. वो खत्म हो गया है. The only thing that I can do is offload because I have so much of information. The only thing that I can do to calm my brain is to offload. And to offload, I need someone. So I'm going to find someone who is going to listen to me so that I am the talker. मैं बात कर सकूं और मैं अपना offload कर सकूं. So that in my head there is a balance between input and output. The input that I took in from the external environment, and then I found a way to output it. Which is why we're all struggling with being good listeners. Because the quota to be a good because the thing that one requires to be a good listener is to be empty in our head so that we can allow information. But our heads are not empty anymore. They are already filled with so much of information, so much of just nonsense that is not required, that we are not able to give another human being space to talk and to express. मैं तुम्हारी नहीं सुनूंगा पर तुम मेरी जरूर सुनो. As someone who actively listens and listens as part of a job, I know listening is exhausting. When you're sitting across from someone who especially is sharing something very deep and something very, very impactful that's happening in their life and something that is actually very negative, when they're releasing that by communicating, it has to go somewhere. And you know where it comes? To me, to the receiver. Not just me, any receiver. When we are communicating, there is a sharing of energies. And if someone is sharing with you something negative, something heavy, it is going to be received by the receiver, which, whoever is the listener. So I understand that it is exhausting being a listener. It is exhausting always being the listener. But it is needed in today's world, unfortunately. This, they say that with every generation, new skills are required. Like when I was growing up, being a software engineer was the skill that was needed. When now AI is a skill that's needed. Throughout that, of course, communication was always a skill that was needed. I genuinely feel that there will come a time where people who are listeners and the skill of listening will be needed, and that will probably be the most important skill. They say the best leaders are the ones who listen, not the ones who give information. because that requires you to be empty over here to be able to receive and get ideas. I know it's exhausting, but it but as someone who does this actively, I can't tell you how precious it is. It has changed my life. Actively listening has changed my life. I have found formed such beautiful relationships with people, found such beautiful humans, and found such beautiful stories in people, way better than what I could find on social media, just by choosing to get interested in people and their stories rather than what is sold to me online. It is a necessary skill, it is absolutely essential, and if you take it very seriously, it is going to change your life.